Hello, everyone. This is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of I, the Dragon, Cruel and Beautiful, Rabbit Hole King Dio, and the upcoming Lauren Frey. Lately, I've been playing a lot of Dead or Alive on Xbox. It's actually the game I've just been booting up the most over the past couple of days on the console. Every time I'm like watching a movie or I'm like just using it for some other purpose, I'm actually always finding myself drifting over to Dead or Alive 2 at the moment. And that kind of surprised me because one of the criticisms I had for Dead or Alive when I first played it was that like I wasn't sure how much replay value it would have because I found myself, I went through the entire game, like all 2, 3, and 4. I went through the story mode with every single character. I got all the endings, and I just kind of felt like, yeah, it's time to move on to the next one. And when I got to 4, I stopped because I understand that Dead or Alive 5 is an onward as shit without the series creator Tomonobu Itagaki, so I didn't even bother with those. So I've just been playing a lot of... so I played a lot of 2, 3, and 4, and I really thought I was done with it. I really thought I was bored of these games, or at least done with them. I wish there were more. I wish there were more of them. I wish we had more things to discuss and talk about and involve ourselves with, but in the end, I found myself going back to it and playing through the story mode over and over and over again, like trying survival, time attack, experimenting with different moves, different combos, different characters, really paying attention to like the little quirks and the animations and like the little movies in between fights and stuff like that. Like, I said that I really liked Dead or Alive when I first played them all. But the fact that I'm coming back to them, even though I thought they were rather lacking in content, it kind of makes me realize that video games really need to rethink their priorities, I think. Is that, like, every other Xbox game I'm playing, like stuff like Arkham City, stuff like, what's another example? Stuff like Halo, stuff like Titanfall 2. A lot of those games try to pad themselves out by just having a bunch of trophies that are like impossible to get. Like if you're gonna play these games, you're gonna want to get all the trophies. Like they're there to artificially lengthen the experience. Like they make you kind of think that like, oh man, there's all this stuff I can do in the game, but it's nothing. It's just padding, right? You don't actually want to play Arkham City again. Like it's not that fun outside of like the very short campaign and side missions, certain side missions. It's not a very good game. It's not all that replayable. This is the first time I've played it in about a decade, and I don't think I'll play it again for another decade if I ever play it again at all. I have a lot of problems with Arkham City. It's not that great of a game, but Dead or Alive, I keep coming back to. And the reason for that, even though like the comparatively low amount of content, is because it's actually fun to play. And that kind of leads me to my point, my realization, my epiphany, is that being fun is the greatest replay value of all. It's the reason I keep coming back to Donkey Kong Country, A Link to the Past, Super Mario World, games like ActRaiser, Final Fantasy VI, Chrono Trigger. I'm just listing off names, but these games are fun. They're all radically different. They all have different styles, come from different developers. Maybe are completely different genres, but they're all great, fun games. One that I will keep coming back to for years to come. And I think in a lot of ways, Dead or Alive is of the same mold, even though it's kind of limited by the fact that like it's a fighting game that no one really plays anymore, but. When it comes to like the sheer mechanics, when it comes to like the cast of characters, when it comes to like the pacing of the story mode, like I see myself playing these games for a very, very, very long time. They are stellar fighting games, my all-time favorites, and I think being fun to play is the greatest replay value of all.